if you look up, I'm pretty sure it's called the electromagnetic spectrum. It'll show you a line, and then on that line will be different points which represent the different forms or different frequencies of energy that have been discovered so far. So on that line you will see it runs from low frequency energy up to high frequency energy. Of course, this line is infinite. The universe, which is comprised of everything within it, is energy, is infinite and constantly expanding. So if you go down to one end, you'll see things such as microwaves or radio waves, TV, whatever they call it, waves, and you also see infrared, ultraviolet. So it goes on and on, all these labels that scientists have put on different ranges of the electromagnetic spectrum. And if they hadn't discovered these using whatever devices they've used, then we may not know about any of these or be able to use them. We would only know about the tiny, tiny dot on that line called the visible spectrum, which is the little part that we can see. And there's a frequency range that we can touch and feel and hear. But they've discovered outside of this, there is other forms of energy. You can use the term energy and light interchangeably because light is energy. And so they've learnt we can cook our food using this frequency, microwaves, and we can broadcast to radio or TV using this frequency. But even what they've discovered is still a small percentage of what there is. And so humans have only got access to certain instruments or devices for picking up energy. So we've got three-dimensional physical devices. So it's going to be pretty difficult using these very limited devices, even though we may think and scientists may tell us how advanced they are. It's going to be difficult to use these to pick up forms of energy which are outside of the means of these devices. So basically, even the most advanced devices are only going to pick up a small amount and to be able to detect a small amount of energy that there is. So I think it was Einstein who might have said that what we see, the visible spectrum, is basically compact light. So light that is slowed down enough to become visible to the senses. So outside of what we see and can feel, what we see and can feel is what we interpret and believe or have been told is our world. So everything we see and feel, for most people who haven't looked outside of this or done much research, this is our world. This is like almost 100% of what there is. And they often don't realize that this is actually almost nothing of what there is. And reality, well, that becomes a person's reality, but reality as it is infinite. So people might say, there's no such thing as, let's say, aliens, because we've sent out probes and we've looked through our telescopes and we can't see any aliens. Well, you're only looking at 0.0, I think it's 0.03 or 0.01% of the electromagnetic spectrum. So you're looking at the physical and you're saying, we can't see any aliens or alien spaceships or anything. But you haven't looked outside of that. So, what is the definition? What do you call an alien? So does it have to be physical? In which case, it might be one of the reasons why most people have not seen an alien. What about things like spirits and ghosts? Or where do they, are they real, and what part do they play? Could they be aliens? So we can't see them. they're not from this physical world, but they're still part of this world. So do we call them alien, or are they not alien? And so on. It's like, people say there's no such thing as, say, mermaids or underwater cities, because no one or very, very few people have seen anything like them. But then when I did some research, it appears that only something like 5 to 10% of the oceans have been explored. So how can you look at 5% of the ocean and say there's no such thing as aliens or underwater cities?